that's according to the head of the Police Federation of England and Wales, who's called on ministers to introduce a 10-year budget strategy so that forces can properly plan for the future. Well, here to tell us more, joined by the man himself, John Apter. Hello to you. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning,
we appreciate you taking the time. So, you have said that this is a 10-year strategy. You feel that the government are on board. How long are you going to give them to prove themselves?
Well, not long, because the clock is ticking. And let me just put it into context, Kay. Up until now, policing has been funded year on year. So each year they're given an amount of money and they have to plan around that year. It's just not long enough, and certainly not enough money. The Chancellor, Sajid Javid, who was the Home Secretary before us, made some bold statements, some bold promises about understanding the pressures that police are under. We have a new Prime Minister who is far more supportive in words than the previous Prime Minister was. They now have to deliver. We need long-term sustainable funding for policing.
What does delivery look like?
Well, we have the 20,000 extra officers, which in reality only just takes us up to almost where we were 10 years ago.
21,000 down, isn't it?
Absolutely. So it's the right thing to do, because policing is on its knees. We are not delivering the service that we want to. So delivery for me is more officers. I believe strongly we need more than 20,000 officers, but that will come, I've been told. We need a sustainable funding programme going forward, so chief constables and local police and crime commissioners can fund policing adequately locally. And also we need my colleagues, those dedicated men and women who are policing the streets 24/7, to be paid properly and to be rewarded in their pensions. Everything, pay, pensions, everything has been decimated over the last 10 years. It's taken its toll.
OK, but it depends who you talk to. Obviously, that's your point of view. I spoke to Brian Paddick, who you will know as a former Deputy Police Commissioner here in London for the Met. He was saying the way we police should be different now.
Yes.
We don't necessarily need those potentially 20,000 frontline officers. We need to police in a different way.
Well, I agree with Brian that we do have to police in a different way. You know, I've been a police officer for 27 years and policing has changed considerably. But let's ask the public, and we have asked the public. They want to see more officers on the street responding to 999 calls. At the moment, Kay, we can't even respond to 999 calls, emergencies, adequately in many parts of the country. We do have to...
So you're saying we're not protected well enough if there's an emergency in the United Kingdom?
No, we're not. We haven't been. We don't have the resources to do the job that my colleagues want to do. And police officers feel it. They don't want to give a poor service. They want to do the best they can. We've almost been forbidden from doing that because of the austerity measures that has crippled policing, and the government was warned about it.
New cabinet committee to tackle knife crime. That's what we're being told by the Prime Minister via the front page of the Times today. They've always said that they're a party of law and order. How will another committee help?
Well, as far as my colleagues are concerned, the previous government under Theresa May were not the party of law and order. In fact, they've destroyed policing in this country.
She would disagree. She was former Home Secretary as well, of course.
Of course, she would disagree, but I stand by.
She'd say police are always complaining.
I've seen the damage. Absolutely, but we've had a lot to complain about, to be fair. New government, new Prime Minister, and actually they have started investing. The 20,000, it's the right thing to do. An extra £10 million new money to provide taser for my colleagues. That's a good thing to do. Recognising and apologising for the damage that's been done for policing. Priti Patel, the Home Secretary, has done that. That's something that we've not had before, and many promises are being made. We now need that to be turned into action.
Slightly off-piece, but I wondered what your view was as chair of the Police Federation on protection for royals outside the country.
I'm probably not going to get drawn into that one. Very political. I think anybody with a status, certainly within the royal family, it's right and proper that they have adequate protection.
But are tasers adequate protection?
They are
because there has been an argument to replace guns with tasers.
Well, no, it's not about replacing. It's about giving my colleagues the tools that they need to keep themselves and the public safe. Taser has proven itself time and time again. I know it's contentious, but it saved lives. And it also prevents officers having to use more excessive force. I'm a big advocate of taser. I want more of my colleagues to have them if they want to. We can't force people at the moment to carry taser, but more and more officers want them. And the government have listened. Chief officers are listening, and we've got a postcode lottery. Some forces are far more advanced with this than others. That's wrong. If an officer wants taser, they should have it.
OK, and you want to hear from the Chancellor in March?
Yes. I'll be watching the budget.
You want what from him?
I want long-term...
Put numbers on it.
Well, I mean, we've had $3 billion stripped out of policing for a start, and that was over the past 10 years. So there's a start for the Chancellor. But he's made some bold promises, and I do believe, and I get criticised by some colleagues for being too supportive, or am I naive? Because I do believe that this government do get it. They understand the pressures policing are under. The Chancellor, his brother's a police officer, he's seen the pressures policing is under. He's made bold promises, he's made bold statements. I've met him a number of times. He's now got to deliver, simple as that.
Come back and talk to us after the budget and see what he's promised. John Apter, it's good to talk to you, National Chair of the Police Federation of England and Wales. Thanks very much indeed. Quick